Holy fuck, NHL fans, we got some crazy shit to talk about today. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so for my first segment today, I want to talk about that crazy bench brawl that took place between the Calgary Flames and the Detroit Red Wings. Now obviously in the league today, you don't see it very often, but I mean back old school hockey, you saw stuff like this happen all the time. Which is what the instigator Wachowski was trying to point out, that, you know, it's good old hockey. This is how it's supposed to be played, right? Which, to a degree, I can agree with that. But, I mean, the league's evolved, the game's evolved, so things like this don't happen too frequently anymore, so I actually just kind of enjoyed watching it just because it's such a rare occurrence to see a fight of this magnitude kind of come to fruition. The only thing is I don't understand why it began. I mean, Detroit was handily defeating the Calgary Flames by this point in time. And this guy, Wachowski, I guess he's a younger guy on the Wings. I haven't heard much about him. He's the one who started it. And I felt like it was just highly unnecessary at that point in the game. You guys, you're winning. You're destroying the Flames. You know what? Why do you need to do something like this? And it was all because he got in a fight with Bennett and decided to slam him down on the ground. Which is a little unsportsmanlike. You know, if the guy's down, you beat him in the fight, let him be. You won. Move on. You know, rinse your hands and fuck off, right? But anyway, and how it even got more escalated is when Wachowski's walking down the alley to go back to his room, Chuck gives him a nice little tap, like, it's kind of like a get the fuck out of here and move on thing, but that basically caused him to come back, throw some more chirps, and you can see what it escalated to, where it was a whole bench brawl. Even Howard got in there. There was some crazy shit going on, so it was again entertaining to watch, a little unnecessary. They gave the Chuck a spearing penalty for that little. It was like a little love tap, like he just, gave him a poke. It was barely anything, but I guess by doing that and bringing Wachowski back, maybe it's like a lieu of an instigator or something. I don't know what you would call it, but I feel like they had to give him something since it escalated to that crazy magnitude. So really crazy to see. Make sure you check it out if you guys haven't seen it already. A couple comments I want to make about the game too is Calgary obviously struggling without Smith with his injury. They need a number one goalie they can go to, and Eddie Lack obviously is not that guy. I mean, remember back when Vancouver traded Lou and Snyder, thinking Eddie Lack was going to be their savior? Well, obviously that's not what happened. Luckily, Vancouver's moved on from that. Hopefully they can recover. They're looking all right this year. But I mean, for Calgary to bring him in, I guess maybe he's a glorified backup at this point, but they need somebody better, obviously. I mean, 5 goals and 15 shots, that's fucking brutal. Like, why is this guy playing at this point? Put him in the minors and, like, maybe let him mentor some young guys. Get him out of there. Another thing good on Goudreau, he's extended that goal streak. 4 games, I believe, now. So good to see that kid putting some goals there. I do like him. He's a hardworking guy, and especially for smaller guys. And I've seen those small guys play well because, when I was playing hockey more seriously, I was always one of the smaller guys on the team. So it's nice seeing the small guys getting some victories there. Anthony Matha, I really enjoy watching him. He's developed quite a bit throughout the years. I always thought he was going to be a good player. It looks like he's really blossoming well into a star for the Detroit Red Wings. So good to see for them, especially since they're out with Datsuk now. They got Zetterberg, but he's getting a little older. You're going to need Larkin and Mantha, like these younger guys, to pick it up and develop into stars for this team. Because they're going to need some big guys and some big names to help them move forward, right? They don't have Babs anymore, obviously, since we kind of took him from them. So they still have some good management, still a great organization. I think they're going to be totally fine. We just got to give them some time because they're in a bit of a growth period right now. I don't see them as exactly a rebuilding team, but they're not like a contender. They're one of those like bubble teams that still needs a bit of work, but they don't need an entire overhaul. So that's my discussion on that one. Let me know what you guys think. Especially check out that bench brawl if you haven't seen it already. Great to watch. The next thing I want to talk about, some of the crazier news. I thought it's a bit of a rumor, I guess. I think it's been confirmed that this really is what's going on. I guess Bettman met with the Houston NBA owner. I don't recall what his name is, but he seems very interested in having an NHL franchise come to Houston. It seems like an odd area, an odd team, I guess, or location for a hockey team. But I mean, Vegas worked out. It seems to be working out well. for the expansion, so I guess it wouldn't be too bad or too odd to have it in Houston. I feel like there's other cities that might be more deserving. Like I keep hearing about Seattle and Quebec City. Obviously, should have a franchise. Like getting that Montreal Quebec rivalry going, I think would be fantastic for the league. I think it would make them a shitload of money, but I guess Bettman thinks that Houston is where the money's at. So if it's in terms of business decisions, maybe that's the best one for them. I don't really know if it is. Again, I guess we'll see what happens. We do need another West Coast team for sure because it's uneven right now. We need a team to make that 16 on the West Coast side. So I don't know if they're going to add this as their West Coast or what they're planning on doing if they want to shuffle the divisions again. But I guess we'll see what happens. Again, it all comes down to money. The thing I'm a little confused about too is Bettman's very against relocating, which why does Arizona still have a team? Me and Woody were mentioning this last night. Why do they still have a team? They're complete trash. Please move them. Like make that Quebec City. That's the new team. Quebec Nordiques, former Arizona Coyotes. Like just get them out of there. There's lots of teams in the league that they just don't generate money. Like they don't offer anything useful to the league. I mean, again, I don't know if they have a big enough fan base to provide a market for it, but I mean, it's the other NHL teams like New York and Montreal and Chicago and Toronto that are making this extra revenue that are picking up the slack for those teams. So it's like, if Bettman's so greedy with money, why is he keeping teams that are making basically his money pool diminish? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm interested to see what happens with these rumors, if it's going to develop anything, if we're going to get a new franchise soon. I wouldn't mind seeing more hockey teams. Obviously, it's always nice having more in the loop. So I guess we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think about that. If you think Houston's a good location for it, or if you'd rather see a team put somewhere else. And what are your thoughts about the relocating? If you think they should be doing it with any of the teams in the league, or if you think Arizona and some of those other guys are totally fine where they're at. I still think that maybe a shuffle should be in place, but who knows the amount of money and work it goes into doing that. I'm sure it's a lot. So again, it's a business now. It all comes down to money for them. Who knows what the hell they're planning on doing. They did a good job with Vegas. I thought it was going to be a dead, barren wasteland for hockey, but it seems very successful. And I mean, if Vegas didn't have these goalie problems, they'd probably be doing very well right now still in the league. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think. But anyway, that's my video for today. I know we weren't actually originally planning on doing one, but I saw all this crazy news coming out and I had to talk about it. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Have a good one, boys and girls. Peace out.